Hey guys, Mike here with my second Spirit of the Church invasion video. I broke this kind of into two sections. The earlier video was a number of sort of short sections, or rather short selections, typically me against a single host or maybe a host and a phantom. This video is quite a bit longer, yet shows fewer invasions because they're against larger groups. And what I've been doing actually since I started playing again is I started in New Game Plus with this character. This character I took to about soul level 88, took them through both DLCs, and once I got the Spear of the Church Covenant, I went ahead into New Game Plus, and I'm just playing through the game as I normally would and leaving this Covenant equipped, and then at the same time I'm actually using the dried fingers to try to encourage invasions. And I haven't been getting too many invasions, although the ones that I have I'm probably going to put into a separate video at some point. But I have been getting tons of Spear of the Church invasions, and so all the videos, or rather all the invasions that have been in this video and in the predecessor, I think it's entitled number 10, those are all Spear of the Church invasions that came about as a result of me having the Covenant equipped through my playthrough. It's been a really fun way to play the game. I really recommend it. It definitely keeps you on your toes even when you're not getting invasions or being invaded. There's always the possibility, and that creates a lot of interesting tension. These guys weren't too bad. I was able to get to dispatch them pretty quickly, and you can see the host there kind of gave up there at the very end. The next two videos, the last two videos coming up, were among some of my favorite fights I've ever had in the Spear of the Church. So you can see these guys right here, man. They are really putting me under tremendous amounts of pressure here. You've got Crystal Soul Spear Mage dude. The host, I think, is casting Chaos Bed Vestiges, and then you have a couple people coming up and putting melee pressure on me. And incidentally, this, I think, is the most effective way to attack the Spear of the Church. I think that probably the two most effective options are going to be either bringing all the phantoms in like this, or it's going to be going one-on-one where you can do substantial damage. If it's only you against the spear either receives no buffs or very little, and it ends up being just kind of like a straight up PvP bout where you can heal and your opponent cannot. But these guys are doing it right. The only thing that they didn't do right that I think would have probably gave them the victory, they don't have Tears of Denial. Tears of Denial, I think, is really important when there's 4 of you, because the Spear of the Church just does so much damage with each of his attacks. You'll see a single R1 combo, so 2 R1s is enough to nearly kill each of these phantoms. So if you have Tears of Denial on everyone, even if I manage to proc your tears, the other folks can come in and sort of gank me while the person who had his tears proc can run off and heal and reapply the Tears of Denial. That is the most effective strategy that I've seen. But even without tears, these guys are certainly giving me a run for my money. I'm having to do lots of turn and burns. I'm trying to hide behind the pillars. You can see now, because I've got the other Guardian here, their attention's a bit split, and so I'm trying to take advantage of this to finish off this Phantom. You can see I didn't have very much time. When I see the spell spam come, I know that they've dispatched the Guardian, and now it's just me against these 3 guys. When you've got 4 opponents that you're facing off against, it is so critical that you get rid of one of those Phantoms as quickly as you can. You can be very successful against 3 enemies, but 4, it like triples the difficulty. So now I'm feeling pretty good. I've got it down to 2 enemies, but of course I've got the buff of being up against 4 that they're going to have to contend with. And now that I'm down to 2, I'm looking for a place to cast my healing spell, and I make a mistake here. I actually press L2 instead of L1, which slowly regenerates health and definitely is valuable, but now I've betrayed my hand. They know what I'm trying to do. I'm able to get the heal off pretty well uncontested. Even if your heals are contested though, they typically give you so much health. Even with the phantoms and the host hacking away at you, it's generally you'll still come out ahead. even if they're hacking away at you, and frankly, even if they backstab you. If they have a hornet ring, maybe that's not the case, but I've never had a chance, I don't think, where I've healed and come out worse for it than I would have if I hadn't healed. There's a single exception to that, and you'll actually see it in the next clip here in a moment. That was a really stupid roll on my part. I rolled right into that roll catch. And here I have so much poise. There's really no reason for me to two-hand this weapon. I really should be one-handing this straight sword, with the exception of, I guess, trying to get off that guard break. I saw the Phantom holding his shield up a little bit too much, but in retrospect, I think he was simply doing that for the magic spell that's above my head. I think he knew what he was doing with the shield. In other words, I don't think I was going to be able to guard break him with the straight sword weapon art. So I pushed my poise advantage too far here, and I get caught. I nearly killed. So now I'm in trouble, and you can see that they're really pouring the pressure on because they can see how low my health is. I try to cast a heal there, but unfortunately I don't have enough FP. So now I'm gonna have to try and find a way to drink this Ashen Estus and almost pay for it with my life. That was so close. But now they know what I'm going to do. They've seen me heal already. They saw me drink the Ashen Estus. So I'm trying to throw them off a little bit by swinging. But I just essentially heal right in their face here. And you can see, even though I took 3 or 4 hits, I still came out way ahead. Like, that was definitely a trade worth making. So something to keep in mind. I would not have a Spear of the Church build without some healing spells on it. It's just like Dark Souls 1 and Dark Souls 2 invasions, where you can't Estus. You're reliant solely on the miracles for healing. You only need 10 faith for medium heal. I thought about going to 25 for great heal. I don't know if it would be worth it. And there you can see the third and final Phantom bit the dust. And now I know I'm in the driver's seat. There's essentially nothing the host can do at this point. And I think he's kind of mocking me or venting some frustration by kind of running around. I think sort of mocking what I was doing. Of course, I wasn't running, I was just walking. But I can certainly see how that would frustrate players who are, having that done to you. But really, any other strategy against 4 players would just be complete suicide. Especially when you've got a bunch of people casting spells at you from halfway across the map. You just cannot tow it with 4 enemies at the same time, even with all the poison defense buffs. So if he's going to run around, basically I'm just going to pull out my crossbow, and I'm just going to unlock and shoot explosive bolts at his feet. This Spear of the Church Covenant has taught me more about unlocked play than any of the other invasions that I've ever done in the game, and I've probably logged thousands of hours worth of invasions. Unlocked play is just an absolute requirement when you're dealing with 3 and 4 enemies at the same time. You just have to play unlocked. I felt really good about that victory. That was really hard fought. So this is the final Spear of the Church invasion in my video today, and I included this because I thought that the opposition really did a tremendous job of playing against me. I didn't see that any of them were password summoned, but they were coordinating really, really well, and it really seemed to me as though they had a game plan coming into this. Like they had all thought this through, and they knew exactly what they were doing. They really, all of them stay on top of me. They just apply a ton of pressure, and you'll notice they're using miracles and spells from far away, and then pressuring me with big, heavy weapons up close. And they all have tears of denial, and that is, I think, probably one of the biggest keys to success. I think if I were ever going to try to fight against the Spear of the Church as part of a large group like this, I would absolutely have Tears of Denial, such a key. And one thing I've noticed when I first started playing as a Spear of the Church a couple months ago, you wouldn't see very many people with Tears of Denial on any more than you would see in any other type of invasion. But now when they come in for the Spear of the Church against you, I see way more people using Tears of Denial. I think the word's kind of gotten out. People are refining their strategies. So close to proccing his Tears there. One change I've actually made, it's not here, but I've switched to a katana as my secondary weapon for those chase downs. It's just too often where I have a host or a phantom down to just a few points of health, and I can't close them out because I can't attack quickly enough. So I've got a katana now, and we'll have to see how well that works out. I haven't really had a chance to try that strategy out. I'm not sure how I didn't get that parry. So really, in retrospect, what I should have been doing here was going and doing a better job of protecting the Guardian down there. And I start to realize I should be doing that, but by the time I get down there, he's already dead. It's too late. So at this point in the fight, I'm down to roughly my last third of health. I haven't killed any of the phantoms yet. I'm very close on this guy, and the others are trying to keep me off of him. He's doing a good job of not panicking too much, but I missed my opportunity here to hit him. And that effectively is all she wrote. I think if I had successfully killed him there, I would have had a much better chance. And now I'm probably panicking a little too much, and I heal here. They take away quite a bit of it, but I still do come out ahead. Again, healing, you almost always come out ahead. So I've kind of been getting increasingly bold with my healing attempts, where I really don't even try to hide anymore. I just kind of heal right out in the open and almost kind of dare them to try to take the health back. But you'll see I heal here in a moment, and it was an ill-advised heal. They really made me pay for it. I can't get any of these guys separated from the others long enough to be able to do any serious kind of damage to them. These guys were ganking me very, very effectively. This is just kind of a textbook on how to gank somebody. When they're all swinging at the same time, even if you successfully roll one attack, you're never going to be able to roll out of all of them. And now I'm so low on health, I almost panic heal here. The backstab. And then I get trapped. I cannot roll out. The Pestilent Mercury, and then finally the charged R2 on, I think, the Cathedral Knight Sword, or maybe the Lothric Knight Greatsword. They really did a fantastic job, so credit to them.